an actor like him, you talk a lot, a lot, and it's kind of great, I mean, you think, and we talked about this, but it's like you got a guy who's won Academy Awards. He doesn't need this little movie. He's done everything, But we were shooting in Nashville, and 2 in the morning, movie Weird World, you get a lunch at 2 in the morning because you take an hour break, and he'd be like, we got to talk about this next scene. Let's take a walk. I say, okay, and we'd be walking 20 blocks in Nashville at 2 in the morning, and people are like, yo, Jumanji, or whatever, And he'd be like, I got a new job. And then it's kind of, but he was very specific about everything, I mean, it was really mind-blowing to me because I could talk about it all day long. I'd talk about anything to these guys, but specifically, if we're going to talk about a role or a scene, it was really fun. But I don't think he was overly calculated about what he would do, but he would think about it all, and he'd be in that room when Bob Odenkirk showed up, who's an incredible actor and, a fellow comedian, as he was, like they had never met, so right away they would start, maybe joking a little, and then he'd walk over to me and he'd say, what was I just doing? And I'd say, you were just in a motel with a young guy. And he'd be like, okay, no more joking, So, you'd check in, and he very much interested in what he was doing.
When you go into making a small movie like this and you get someone big like Robin Williams to sign on, obviously that helps get the movie made. It's exciting to have someone like Robin Williams. Do you fear getting on set every now and then that this person's going to be too big for how small your movie is, that they're not going to sort of want to have those long walks with you, they're not going to want to have these long discussions, they're just going to want to sort of, bust out the scenes as quick as possible, get the day over?
Well, you kind of trust that if they're going to do this little movie, they're not doing it for the money. Promise you that, And, he's a weird guy like that. Like every generation has grown up with a different Robin Williams, and it's hard-pressed to find people who don't like him, I always think, man, famous people today, man, you got like 40% that hate you no matter who you are. He's a pretty high ratio of people who love them, And I think, but for some strange reason, at least for me, like, I kind of bought, I don't know how a guy that famous, I'd still believe he works in a bank. It's tough sometimes where it's like, come on, you're not in a bank, But with him, I don't know.
Well, he's not doing impressions, and he's not doing like, Mork inside the bank or anything.
Oh, you have to be there. But yeah, you're right. I mean, and he's doing this film thinking very much about, well, let's try and get it right, So.
Now, when you finished the film, he got to see a cut of it, or the final cut before he passed away, right? What was his response?
I mean, I would save him, He'd be like, we got it. It's really good. We would talk. I mean, we had 20 cuts before it was done, and he did see the final, but, he had lots to say as we'd go and putting scenes back in. Well, let's try that one. It was pretty great. And
so he was a real collaborator, even through post.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he wanted to see it all, He'd be like, how's Kathy coming along in it? Is she happy? So very caring,